Hi everybody, it's Corey at the Reset Girl, and we are doing list number 3 today for the Lister's Got a List Challenge. And I have my beautiful blank page here in my standard size yellow paper house insert. And today's prompt is favorite brands of clothing I wore in high school. I had so much fun with this one. I thought it was going to be the music one, but this one actually transported me back to high school. I was thinking about all those magazines I used to read and the ads and the stuff that I just had to have. And so I went on the internet, I went on Pinterest, and I started looking for ads that I remembered from clothing brands that I used to wear and covet. And, you know, I can't even be sure for a fact that I wore all of these. I just know that I had their ads everywhere on my walls of my room because I loved to tear them out and tape them up. So I actually found artwork that I literally had on my walls of my room, which was so cool. Plus, I found a couple of them that I actually did own, which was amazing. So here's my little pile of goodness that I found on the internet. I was a teenager in the late 80s, so that was one of the little graphics that I grabbed off there. And I was so excited when I found some of these. I was having a nostalgic moment. So I remember this copy, this issue of 17 magazine, because I know for a lot of us Gen Xers, Pretty in Pink changed our lives. It was such a fantastic movie. She was amazing, and she kind of like the way that she wore her clothes, she was very much into like vintage and thrift store and kind of embellishing them and everything. It was so inspirational. There were so many girls at my high school that started dressing similar to that and kind of embracing that thrift store mentality, and I was one of them. So it changed the game for a lot of us. But I love me some Molly Ringwald. I have another graphic here. I love the 80s, which was that that TV series on VH1 that came out not too long ago, and I found that one. Swatch. I know you girls, well, girls my age remember Swatch. I had this ad on my wall. I remember it so well. That was the most coveted watch of them all. I mean, and they were so cool. They had all these fun designs, and they were completely plastic. So this is the actual one that I had. It was clear, and I cut it out. This was like someone's like actual watch in a picture, so it wasn't an ad, but I cut it out so I could incorporate it because I owned it. They even had a Swatch guard, and it was like this little piece of rubber that kind of, you would twist it with another one, so you'd make like double colors or something and wear it over so it didn't scratch the face of your watch. That was another accessory that they offered with it. This made me so nostalgic that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go see what kind of swatches they offer now because I think I want to own one. They have never changed their brand. They've stayed so true to that really super fun, cool aesthetic. So I'm gonna go explore that further when I'm done here. Oh yes. United Colors of Benetton. So I went to a very preppy high school, and a lot of girls wore Benetton. I can't remember how you say it. Benetton, one of those two. I had this ad on my closet door. I remember this. They had this whole campaign that was all about, and it's very similar to what they do today too, that was about embracing a lot of different icons of the 80s and showing their fashion on models like all over the globe. It was very much like We Are the World kind of advertising. And then so this was kind of like a tribute to Michael Jackson and Madonna, who were like huge at that time. So, and I remember this, tearing it out of my 17 magazine. So I was super stoked when I found this. I love it. Cyndi Lauper. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I know that at some point I started, you know, kind of embracing a lot of that aesthetic, like the tons of bracelets and all that, which is still trendy today. I love that. So I grabbed her. I can't remember the company that this came from, but I know that I had this picture from a magazine too. And I had that sweater, and I remember, I can't remember if I own these pants or pants that were like in that collection, but I remember this and ripping it out of the magazine, and me and my mom going shopping because I wanted this outfit. And then, let's see, Santa Cruz. This is a now defunct clothing line, but at the time, back in the 80s, they were so fun. And I remember, I have a very vivid memory of my dad taking me shopping for clothes one year. He was in charge of taking me, and that was the best deal ever because he had no idea what kind of clothes girls wore or how much money you spent on clothes. So I remember this was the first time I ever shopped in a real department store, and I got a bunch of clothes from their line, and they were just really fun and unique, and that was an ad I also remember, so I grabbed that one. And that's a swatch ad. And then this is a spree. I grew up as a kid in San Diego, and then in junior high I moved to Northern California. And I had never heard of a spree before until I got there. And oh Lord, it was the clothing brand that every girl had to have. And honestly, I think I maybe owned a couple of spree things, not much. But they had the funnest little ads and their magazines, and they just made it look so fun. Like, I would totally, if I was 25, I'd probably wear that again today. It's super cute. Really bold graphics and fun colors. They have the best marketing campaigns, I think, to this day. I would totally stand by that for sure, that they did. I love them. And I am so encouraged because today, as I was looking through all the different answers, there were so many girls that had a spree on their list. So I saved that one. And then this is so awesome. I will never forget this. Esprit did this marketing campaign one year where they took actual employees and they put them in their Esprit clothing and kind of styled them in their kind of job that they had at Esprit. So she was like one of the photographers. She was in charge of like all their photography, and she was a customer service rep. I cannot believe I can still remember that detail. But I found all of these images on there. So I used to look at these girls and go, I want to be like them when I grow up. And it's really funny to look at them and think these women are now in their 50s. And I just think that's awesome that I found them and how meaningful these were to me, that I looked at this and thought, this is such a cool job, a career. How do you get to be these girls? So that's kind of how I always looked at Esprit. They were so cutting edge and fun that's the stuff that they kind of made you want their clothes, because they always showed fun lifestyles and stuff. So this is what I gathered for my page. I actually wanted to incorporate that in collaging, like doing this, cutting out pictures. That's what I did during this time. That was my creative expression. So I went ahead and I filled out one of my journal cards from the High Five edition of Project Life. And I thought I would kind of position it here and put everything around it. What I'm thinking I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to probably cover that somehow and use my my label over that. So that's one thing I need to do. And then, because I keep forgetting to do this part, is I'm going to stamp my sticker and let's see here. It's the third. Having a hard time remembering. What date is it? It's true what they say, when you start working from home, you do kind of lose track of time. You kind of forget what day it is. I don't know why that happens, but... And my husband warned me it was going to happen. And sure enough, it did. Okay, today's the 3rd. There's number 3. A lot of you have commented that that you believe that the fragrance of this stamp is like almond extract, and I totally agree with you. I couldn't place it, and I wasn't even sure I agreed with you when I first saw that comment, but now I totally agree. It's got an almond extract smell to it. It smells very delicious. Okay, so I have that. Now I need to just plan to cover that with something. And I'm going to reach into my little group of strips that I cut up the other day. And that's kind of a big, see, it's kind of a big label that I've made. So let me see if I got anything in here I can use. because, you know, at the worst case scenario, I'm just gonna end up probably having to make something that has a background on it that is a little less, I don't know, it's gonna make it stand out more and then kind of give me a way of creating a header for this, because I don't love that. So let me grab my paper 1 second. So what I'm gonna do is I laid that down and I'm gonna make a tab out of this. And I was very brave just laying it down first and not making a tab. So, not really a tab, but more of like a banner or a title. I didn't want a ton of color because I'm putting so much down on it. So all I'm doing is just kind of cutting this into a rectangle, and then I'm going to trim it so that it's more like a banner. And actually I'm going to use my fabulous scissors. My husband tried these the other day. He's like, oh, I see what you're talking about. These are awesome. They are. These make me want to find things to cut up. Okay, so I basically made myself like a little banner shape, and now I'm going to kind of cut into it, cut a little triangle out of it to make the banner part. There. Whoop. Okay. Glue stick. I'm always searching for this glue stick. Okay, so right now I'm gonna... The other option, I just realized this, is I don't have to put that on this. I could actually just kind of circle around it with all the pictures and put this up higher. That's an option too. Or I could put it down below, or put it down here. And honestly, I haven't even tried like testing these out and seeing how many I could use or not use, how many weren't gonna work. So I'm just gonna start kind of messing around with it right now. I loved this prompt. I think this is one of the ones I loved the most, just because it does remind me of being in high school. How much I used to do what I'm doing right now. I used to do that as a teenager. I used to get those little spiral notebooks all the time and just fill them up full of pictures. I would make like covers for my binders for school with imagery, stuff that I found that I loved. Okay, I'm going to put this up here. I think the most fun part for me in these challenges is sharing the memory part with you guys. You know, for so many of us, we can look around and you can get a sense of how old different people are based on the answers that they give for things. It's really cute. Like yesterday, you could really tell like which ones were the millennials and the Gen Xers and even baby boomers, and it was really awesome to see that. And it makes you kind of identify with different people, and you know, really, I don't know, kind of evens the playing field, I guess you could say, that you have so much in common with people from all over the globe, and I love that. So I'm going to trim this down some more because it's a little obnoxious right now, the size of it. I'm going to trim that into a better banner too. I love using scrapbook paper for stuff like this, just being really making banners out of it, making shapes out of it, from making my own embellishments, you know, like punching them and stuff like that. I really do enjoy that. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do this differently than how I had originally intended. I think I'm going to make this flat like that. And then I'm gonna add these extra pieces. She was my favorite. I just loved that outfit. And isn't that so cute? And isn't it funny how that's kind of come back in style? The really like black and white graphic with color blocking. I love that. It's true what they say. Things do come back around in style again. So I need to be careful about the fact that I have some words on here that I need to accommodate. And I think what I'll do is move her around because I have a reference here to the fact that Pretty in Pink is what okay. I went to a high school very similar to what they had in the movie, where it was very much a lot of rich kids, and I was not a rich kid by any means. So it's kind of funny doing this. I've seen a lot of comments about, you know, our parents didn't spend money on brands and stuff like that, and it's funny that all that peer pressure is really what causes the whole brand thing to be important anyway. Because I didn't go on in life, you know, needing to have brand clothing. I still don't. I don't ever shop at department stores. I always shop at like TJ Maxx and Ross and stuff like that. But when you are younger, for some reason, all that stuff can end up mattering a lot to you. And it's funny is the clothing itself isn't what I remember, it's the advertising. I should have known that I was going to be a big marketing nerd just from that alone. How big of an impression that made on me. Okay, I think that is kind of what I'm going to end up doing. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing this down and see if I can kind of even out some of the sides of my... Sometimes after you glue things down, you look at it and go, oh man, I wish I would have glued it that way. That would have been better. That happens to me all the time. And you know what? You're just going to... Sometimes we just have to roll with the punches. You just have to kind of go with it, you know? Glue stick is forgiving, but sometimes it's like you wait a little too long to make that decision and the decision's made for you. Okay. Get that in there. I just think this is so cool that I found this stuff. I mean, what are the odds that it would be sitting there on the internet today, all these years later? Like, what reason? I kind of want to hunt down the person who uploaded this and, like, how did you find this and why did you do it? You know, what made you compelled? I'm always so amazed. I have a couple Pinterest, I have a Pinterest board. It's called Childhood Memories, and I have all these like images of toys that I had and Hello Kitty stuff that I owned, and there's like so many people that do that, and I think it's so awesome. It's awesome that all of that imagery is somewhere exists on the internet, isn't it? We live in an awesome time where we can find things that we no longer own or have in our lives and find a picture of it. Okay. I think this is just really ironic that I'm sitting here collaging with the same stuff I've collaged with before. Okay, so this was over here. And then I'm going to glue this little girl down. All these models are like moms now. They're all grown-ups. Yeah, I can get that up pretty high into the picture too, so I'm going to try doing that. I'm totally serious though. Do not be shocked when you see me wearing a swatch in my video. I'm gonna hunt one down. I forgot how much I loved it until I started seeing pictures of them, and I don't even know if the pictures I saw are all current pictures. Some of them looked current, but their brand is going strong, which I personally love that. I love when a brand can keep itself going generation after generation like that. You know, and they've stayed true to themselves. They still have these yummy, delicious plastic watches. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I love the 80s. Yep, I feel very lucky to have grown up in the time that I did. I'm glad that I can remember like the internet coming into my life. You know, for a lot of kids, they were born into it. They don't even remember how much fun it was to have a television that you didn't have a remote control for. You had to get up and turn the dial. I remember things like that, and I just think, you know, that there's something cool about remembering the way things used to be. Okay. I like that better. I kind of feel committed to it now that I've done it, so. Okay, and let me see. I think, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to use some of my washi to kind of fill in the little gaps so it doesn't look so, you know, that doesn't make me happy. Let me try this. Let me put the watch strap on top of the washi. Yeah, I can live with that. Here, I'm going to use like little snippets. I pulled out some washi and in different colors and stuff, just kind of, because I figured this would happen since I had such different sizes and stuff, that I was going to get odd odd placement on the page. And this is like a total neon 80s color. I'm going to try this corally color here. I don't know, I'm just trying stuff out. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to add... Oh, you know what? Hold the phone. I just thought of something. Way better. Okay. I'm actually going to grab one of the sheets I made for Christy Tomlinson. It's got a cool little heart that is super perfect for this cool 80s thing I got going on here. Okay. Love it. The irony. It's fabulous. Okay. Well, that's it. It was a collage day over here at Reset Girl headquarters. I hope you guys are having, well, I shouldn't say guys, you ladies are having a fabulous time decorating your lists and stuff. It's absolutely a thrill to see how many of you just are just feeling that creativity. Like I'm forcing myself to be creative and I'm absolutely loving it. That is music to my ears. I couldn't ask for a greater gift than to hear people say that. We should all be giving ourselves that gift every day, being a little creative, diving in, trying new stuff. That's what this is all about. Okay, there we go. I have my page complete. Ooh, let me move that off. Ta-da! Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and photograph it and get it up on Instagram, and it will be day 4. I actually filmed yesterday. This particular one, it was a very quick little video. It's a little harder to get videos up the same for the day of the challenge, so they'll probably be pacing themselves a little bit behind. It's just kind of a lengthy process to kind of get them all published. So they will be coming staggeringly along along with other ones, but I really appreciate you guys watching as always, and I just love your little planner girl faces. Bye everybody.